Caught wife sexting. Advice. To add some context to my title, a story. I 36 meters have been married for 12 years to MG wife 33F. We have a best friend relationship where we have always been really close. We also have been through a lot together. We have 3 kids. A little context is she was sexually abused by her stepdad. About 7 years ago she started to go to counseling for that and started to give me more details about it. She's also had a struggle with watching P***N since she was really young. Her counselor has talked to her about this is how she coped with what happened to her. Long story short, for the past 5 years or so she has been trying to stop watching it. Once she got over the porn she got into erotica literature. And then about a year ago she told me she felt consumed by it and asked me to put parental controls on her phone so she doesn't. I did not enforce this. I'm trying to be supportive of her journey. If she didn't feel bad, I wouldn't think much about it, but she said it sends her into a shame, depression spiral and so she doesn't like it. About 2 years ago I went to counseling with her because she felt like she wanted more from our sex life. I'm fairly routine, quick and have really tried to be better. But this is basically a reoccurring theme where she feels like she has a higher sex drive than me. I don't think it's a higher sex drive, to be honest. I think it's actually that I'm fine doing the same thing every time. Anyways, all this is the backdrop. Last week we got a letter in the mail about our dental insurance needing renewed. It was in her email and she asked me to renew it. I opened her email. In the computer we share one and use separate Chrome profiles. I saw a bunch of stuff in her email that was pretty shocking. I didn't want to make her feel bad. She has also been in a depression slump, so I realized that once again there was a correlation. The next day while kids were at school, we went on a walk and I tried to bring up the topic of how she was doing with it all and if that played a role in her mood. She was very resistant to talking, so I didn't push. A few days later we were going to have sex while the kids were in school. I was waiting for a break in work meetings and she went upstairs. When I went up I realized she was listening to something sexual. Basically she was trying to get herself ready. It kind of blew up because I felt disrespected. We argued a bit. I asked if there was anything else I needed to know about and she said no. I then asked if I could see her phone and she immediately opened it and started deleting something. I asked what it was and figured out she had subscribed to some Patreon accounts that were males moaning and doing stuff for subscribers. We decided I should join her at her next counseling appointment tomorrow and get a perspective on this. The more we talked she was saying her needs weren't being met by me and then she said she's been uncomfortable having sex with me for 6 months but she doesn't know why. Well, today I was homesick and she was out of the house. I had a suspicion there was more she wasn't sharing. So I logged into her TikTok account. She used to spend hours on it. Her profile was basically discreet, not revealing her true identity, and she was only following strangers, no actual people we know. I went into messages and there were only a few, assumed the rest were deleted, and she had reached out to several guys to sext. One was while she was on a girls' trip in February and she said I would have used a hookup app but that seems like too much effort, so trying to find someone here who's in the same mood as me. I stewed on what to do for 3 hours. I know it was an invasion of privacy, but I also just feel like there's a pattern here and I'm not sure how far it goes. To me, texting, messaging a real person is cheating. I can say I've never felt it was just her own struggle. Now I am freaked out about how far this goes. She asked me later today if I logged into her TikTok. My login sent her an email. I told her what I found and she basically shut down. She let me look at her phone and I didn't find anything else, but I feel like she could have deleted it. She started to get defensive and say it's partly my fault because our sex life hasn't been good enough for her. How can I trust her again? How do we move beyond this? TL. Doctor caught wife texting other guys sexually. What do I do now?